Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode here on the Fantasy Fellowship. My name is Kyle. We're going to be going over a mock draft today from the 9th spot in a 12-team PPR league. We're going to be using ESPN. I'm going to hop in a screen share here and we'll show that. But we got a couple minutes before it starts. I did want to just do some housekeeping before we get underway here. If you're still looking for a draft kit, we got the 2021 draft kit right here available for purchase. You get projections, rankings, cheat sheets, a couple extra bonus articles, and a little bit more. So check that out if you need some help with your drafts. And then some news, as Justin in the chat broke for us. And then we got Darrell Henderson with a thumb injury. We don't know. He just got off the practice field. We'll monitor this thumb injury. But the Rams, man, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson with the thumb. We'll see how severe it is. But they also lost a backup running back in Raymond Calais, and now they're down to Xavier Jones and Jake Funk as the next two guys up if Darrell Henderson were to miss a week or two or anything after that. So we're going to watch that. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars on. Are they underway yet? Did that game start? I know it's Monday Night Football tonight, so that game's on ESPN if you're looking to watch some football, and it should be a good show tonight, actually. As far as preseason goes, you're probably going to see Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and then hopefully that first-string offense for Jacksonville. Let me see what's going on here. That game starts pretty soon here, just about to kick off. So we'll keep tabs on this. If you're watching it, let me know if any big plays happen. We can go check it out and see what's going on in the box score. But we're doing a 12-team PPR mock draft. We got Aiden in the chat with us. Looks like he's drafting from, where is he? He's pick number 4. I'm going to be pick number 9. And we're going to just go through and try to make the best picks available here. I think at 9, I really want Aaron Jones. I think that's the perfect spot to get a running back, Aaron Jones. I think interesting, like I've seen Aaron Jones as high as like RB5 in some websites here. So it should be a lot of fun. And then, yeah, we got Trevor Lawrence versus Minshew. I think everyone knows it's going to be Lawrence, but Lawrence just needs to stay steady and look good with the first team offense. Maybe just get some points on the board tonight. And I don't know, Jameis versus Taysom Hill. I still don't know what's going on with that. I think we're going to see both guys at some point this season. It really depends on who's moving the ball, who's getting the touchdowns, and how healthy are the Saints. So yeah, Aaron Jones is one of my favorite players at the moment for running back values. I think I just updated some projections this morning. I've had Aaron Jones as high as like RB6. But Najee Harris actually snuck up into my top 6 here. He's number 6. Saquon's number 7. But these guys are literally separated by about 5 points. I can even throw in Nick Chubb into that group. So I have a group of 4 running backs here. Najee, Saquon, Aaron Jones, and Nick Chubb. Those guys are all kind of worth, to me, a top 10 pick at this point. But Najee you can get round 2. So if we can get Najee 2, I think I will do that. And I'm interested in Minshew because he could be a guy that gets moved at some point this season if things are going well for Lawrence. But the draft is underway. We are technically on the clock. I got 40 seconds to make my pick. But Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, there's Saquon, Derrick Henry falls to 6. And then you get Jonathan Taylor and you get Travis Kelce at 8. So we're up to pick here. Devontae Adams really should be off the board right now. If this was a real draft, I'm taking Devontae Adams all day here. But for the sake of the mock, I'm going to assume that Devontae Adams was already taken. And I'm going to go with my gut here and say Aaron Jones, probably a top 5, top 6 running back this year. So again, I know I should take Devontae Adams if this was real life, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I think 9th spot is a perfectly good opportunity for him. I think he's going to score more touchdowns than he did last year. If you remember back in 2019, I think he led the league in touchdowns or tied Christian McCaffrey. So Aaron Jones, he's capable of being like the RB2 or 3 within that Packers offense. So one of my favorite picks there. And again, if you wanted a running back there, I mean, of course, Aaron Jones. I really like Ezekiel Elliott if he falls. I think Nick Chubb is worthy of the 9th overall pick there too. Or otherwise, again, if you get Devontae Adams to fall to you at number 9, I think you have to snag that one because he might be the overall number 1 scoring fantasy player this year if Christian McCaffrey doesn't keep up what he's been doing. But anyways, we're moving here into the 2nd round. And yeah, if I can get Najee Harris paired up with my guy, I really like in the 2nd round. I think the running backs are really juicy there. We just missed Najee Harris, Team Lozito, round 2, pick 3. Najee is moving up the draft boards, guys. So if you were able to get him round 2, mid to late round 2, I think you should be feeling really good about that. But we're up to pick here again. We got Aaron Jones. The names that stick out here: Antonio Gibson, Calvin Ridley. I can get a top 5 receiver paired with Aaron Jones. So if you're interested in going running back, I think the clear pick to me is Antonio Gibson. And then if you wanted to get a balanced start with the receivers, you're going to go Ridley. But I've been doing a lot of receiver heavy mocks lately. So I'm going to take Antonio Gibson. But in a real draft, man, I probably would have Devontae Adams and Calvin Ridley on this team. But man, getting Aaron Jones and Antonio Gibson, those guys are ranked my RB8 and my RB10. And I don't know, I'm not really feeling the best about Saquon Barkley. I kind of just have him up there. Even Alvin Kamara is making me a little bit nervous as my RB3, but I'm getting 2 top 10 backs on my projections here. I feel really good about that. And Antonio Gibson's looked pretty good. He's been getting a lot of passing work in the preseason. Don't worry about J.D. McKissick. I know he's been in on 3rd downs, but they're passing the ball to Gibson on 1st and 2nd down, so he's going to rack up a ton of touches this year. I think he's a 300-touch player. So, again, with these mock drafts, I know I probably would have taken Devontae or Calvin Ridley in some of these, but I've been doing a lot of mocks, and I'm just trying to get some different starts. So this one, we're going to go running back, and now we get to hammer the wide receivers for a little bit here. And the Barkley backup, it looks like that's going to be Devontae Booker. And who knows if I heard that Barkley was going to get some because the Giants have joint practices this week. I'm not sure. I think maybe with the Patriots. I can't remember. But it sounds like Barkley's going to first get his live tackling action this week. So if he passes the test this week, that might hold Pat down, and we'll see if he's a top 5, top 6 pick. But we'll see about Barkley. I'm still nervous about him not being heavily integrated into the offense and the rhythm of things, but we'll see. But we're moving here into the 3rd round. And then, yeah, Devontae Booker, he's the number 2 right now, but it sounds like Corey Clement's been kind of the better player in practice. So I think with this 3rd preseason game, I want to see who gets the carries first. Is it Booker or Clement? We'll watch, because if anything happens to Saquon Barkley, we're probably going to be playing the waiver wire game for the Giants backup. But again, we're moving into the 3rd round right now. I guess the end of the 2nd round, after we took Gibson, you see Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, just a run of 5 stud wideouts. I love all those picks. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, pick number 10 in the 2nd round. Probably not going to happen. We have to see what happens with his ankle injury. Again, he hurt the inside of his ankle. It's kind of not a very typical ankle sprain, and he might be out for who knows yet, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe even more. This was the injury that Michael Thomas had last year that kept him out of the lineup for a long time. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire probably going to end up falling, quite a bit in the round. I think with my projections, just out of precaution, he's my RB27 right now, so I'm not taking him for a while. But we'll see. We're moving here in the 3rd round. After Clyde, it was David Montgomery, Darren Waller, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift. Aiden gets DeAndre Swift here at round 3, pick 4. There goes Keenan Allen, George Kittle. Let's just review Aiden's team real quick. Again, he had the 4th overall. He starts with Ezekiel Elliott. He gets Justin Jefferson round 2, and then DeAndre Swift as your RB2 feels pretty good. Darrell Henderson just went round 3, pick 8 in this mock. But anyways, we are on the clock. Let's see what we can do. Allen Robinson's been one of my favorite picks in the 3rd round. The fact that we can get him at 33rd overall seems like a pretty good value. I like Robert Woods. I like Mike Evans. I really like a lot of the receivers here. So this is kind of the benefit of going, especially if you can get 2 top 10, top 12 running backs early. I think it does, the board falls to you in the 3rd and 4th round for wide receiver. So we're going to collect Allen Robinson, who's probably got some of the best quarterback play that he's had in his career this season, and that's with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. I mean, he's had to deal with Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky and Blake Bortles and just a lot of junk in his career. So he's maybe looking at the best quarterback group that he's had in his career. So we got Justin saying Sean Payton. Let's see. Before we play our first game, of course, he's got the Bill Belichick kind of quote there. We'll see what happens when it happens kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm struggling to get excited about the Saints offense this year, especially with no Michael Thomas, the Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston debate. I wish some guy would. There's a saying in the NFL, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. So the fact that this battle has not been decided, it means neither one has pulled away from the other, makes me a little bit nervous. So we'll see. I think it might be Taysom Hill, because if you follow the money, Taysom Hill's making a lot more than Jameis Winston this year. So we'll see. Either way, I think we're probably going to want to monitor this situation going up into that Packers and Saints game on that first Sunday of the year. And yeah, Allen Robinson, 3rd round. you really can't go wrong with Allen Robinson. He's been a top 10 receiver the last 2 seasons. I have no questions with him. He's played with garbage quarterbacks, and man, if Justin Fields gets on the field, man, we're going to have a lot of fun watching that Bears offense. So Allen Robinson is my wide receiver 1. And we're moving into the 4th round here. After I took A-Rob, you see Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins. I'm a fan of J.K. Dobbins. It's kind of all in the same tier as kind of similar to Josh Jacobs. He's going to be getting a lot of carries, and those touchdowns are going to be valuable, but not enough working the passing game for PPR. So I like those guys more in round 4. Dobbins is a solid QB2, though. But let's yeah, J.K. We missed on J.K. I was open to it. We already – just with the board falling to us for Aaron Jones and Gibson, we were able to get 2 really good running backs. So J.K. wasn't a pressing need for us, but I like what's going on here. A lot of wide receivers available here, and yeah, I don't know what the Saints. I don't know what the Saints offense. We got Andrew McGrady hanging out with us. Kamara was balling last year. I don't know. It's difficult for running backs to repeat as the RB1 too. So I still think Kamara can be a top 5 running back, but just when you invest in players, you're investing in the offense, and just something about New Orleans makes me a little cautious because they lost some key players on both sides of the ball too. So I think that team, maybe if like a 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs this year, we'll see. And it looks like Jameis Winston gets the start today. We are back up on the board here. We got a ton of my favorite wide receivers still on the board. Whether you like Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, or Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, Chris Godwin, Lockett, Deontay Johnson, Cooper Kupp, this is where the value is. Even, Julio or DJ Moore, just look at all these wide receivers available here. So I'm going to probably take you want to invest in offenses, whether you like Tampa Bay or the Steelers or the Rams. I've been taking a lot of Godwin and Cooper Kupp lately. I'm going to do something different in this one. I'm going to take Deontay Johnson. He's a guy that I haven't been able to talk with. I like Amari Cooper and I like Cooper Kupp. I've done a lot of mocks with taking these guys. So if you want to go back and watch some of those ones, I highly advise, getting Cooper Kupp in the 4th round is one of the best things you can do. But I have a case to get Deontay Johnson on a lot of my teams this season. He's currently my wide receiver 14, and he's right behind right ahead of Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is my 15. Basically, these guys are separated by 3 points. So again, in the 4th round, you get a really good receiver. It's a preference call. If you want a Tampa Bay receiver, if you want Lockett, if you want sometimes Woods falls into this range. I just think that's such a good range for the receivers, and it kind of it makes me a little more excited to draft the running backs in the 1st and 2nd round because I know like round 3 you're gonna give me Allen Robinson or Amari Cooper. Okay, round 4 you can give me Robert Woods, Deontay, Lockett, Cooper Kupp. Like there's so many good options in that 3rd and 4th round for receivers. So it does make a little bit of sense to get those wide receivers in this range. But we're moving here in the 4th round. I'll kind of recap here. At the round 4 pick 1, you see the first QB go off the board, Patrick Mahomes. Mike Davis, round 4 pick 2. That was a little high. I haven't seen him go that high in a while here. But Robert Woods, round 4 pick 3, Deontay, that was our guy. You got Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. It's just a massive row of wide receivers here. And Aiden collects Chris Godwin there at round 4 pick 9. There goes Julio Jones. We got a 15-yard pass to Johnson. Talking Colin Johnson. What we got here? Marquez Callaway for 10 yards. He's one of my favorite sleeper wide receivers. We'll get to him when it comes up. But so far, Jameis Winston, 3 of 3 for 23 yards. And it looks like Jawan Johnson caught the ball, 1 for 9. And then Marquez Callaway, who I think is going to be the Saints' #1 receiver while Michael Thomas is away. So we'll keep checking in on that. And yeah, if you're new to the Fantasy Fellowship, you should definitely leave a subscription and a like if you can. But otherwise, the way I've been talking about quarterbacks this year is I don't like to be the first guy to take a quarterback usually. I think when I begin to think about them is in round 5. So if Josh Allen or Kyler Murray are sitting for me at this pick number 57 that I have next, that's when I start to think about it, because now you're looking at, I don't know, like wide receiver 25 off the board, running back number 20, the 5th or 6th tight end, where you could just lock in a boatload of points at the quarterback spot. What did Callaway just do? Something's going on here. Marquez Callaway, 43-yard touchdown here from Jameis Winston. So there's your sleeper. I don't know if he's going to be a sleeper anymore. But wow, Jameis Winston comes out 4 for 4, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Sick. Oh man, so Marquez Callaway, guys. He caught it over 3 people and a PI. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's looking good for Jameis Winston then. He comes right down and scores a touchdown for the guys. I'll find the clip on Twitter in a second here and we'll watch the play. But we're moving into the 5th round. Josh Allen went at the end of round 4. Kareem Hunt, Mark Andrews, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Chase Edmonds. At this point, I'm TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts. These tight ends look good. There's Kyler Murray still kind of lingering here. Let me go to Twitter and see if we can find this Marquez Callaway play. With videos. It'll be there in a second, but let's get back to the draft here. Myles Gaskin, round 5, pick 6. And yeah, Marquez Callaway, guys. You could probably get him in like the 12th or 13th round. I think on ESPN. If you guys do use ESPN, he's going down, down, down. He's number 152 off the board, which in a 12-team league, that's the 13th round. So we can maybe snag him on our team and reach a little bit in the 12th. That should be more than enough. But we're almost up to pick here. We're on deck. We talked about Kyler Murray being a potential option for us here. You do have T. Higgins. Best receiver probably on the board. Rookie Javonte Williams just went from Denver. But we got both receivers for Cincinnati, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I like Tyler Boyd a little bit later, so we might go do that. I think the value for me is we got 2 really good running backs, 2 really good wide receivers. But man, we can get Kyler Murray here as our quarterback 1. I mean, for the first 2.5 months of the season, he was, I think, the QB1. So this allows us to just lock in some good points here. I'm going to do that, and we'll see if Hawkinson or Pitts falls to us, and then we got a really well-balanced draft here. I need Callaway after that. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna beat you to it, Mr. Tobin. But let's see if I can get to anything here. So here's the play. Let me pull this up here, full screen mode.
2nd and 6.
Of course, it glitches. Can I just zoom in? All right, so here's the Marquez Callaway play. Jameis Winston just rolls back, 7-step drop, and just a bomb fire. And of course, it freezes again. I want to see this play, damn it. We'll see if we can get that to load in a second here, but just a deep shot to Marquez Callaway. We're almost up to pick here. After we did take Murray, you see Odell Beckham, Jamar Chase, Travis Etienne off the board. Again, I'm looking at Hawkinson or Pitts. If we can fill out our spot here, and all of a sudden we got a QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end, that's going to just allow us a lot of flexibility with the flex pick that we have to fill out, and we can just continue to grab best player available here. So it's looking pretty good so far for this draft. Let me hit the play button on this. So glitchy. I'll worry about that later. But Marquez Callaway with the deep bomb touchdown. We got Andrew saying Kyler has QB1 potential. I'm super high on him this year, 4K. And yeah, man, it's really with how many touchdowns he can run in. I think that's what's going to be huge. So Kyler Murray, the fact that we can get him at the end of the 5th round, it wouldn't surprise. I don't think it would surprise anybody if he was the QB1 this year. So the rushing stats is kind of all the rage for QBs right now. But we just missed on TJ Hawkinson and Kyle Pitts, so we're going to probably play the tight end group game. So we're up to pick here. We have a flex spot to fill. We got 20 seconds to make a deal. James Robinson, Damian Harris. Nothing really sticks out at running backs yet. We can maybe see what happens in the next round. I really, really like Tyler Boyd, guys. But Robbie Anderson, Laviska Shenault, I'm just going to snag Tyler Boyd because I think I want to pump up his ADP a little bit. There's been some weird with Jamar Chase. He just had the 3 drops in the preseason game the other night. And then he had some bad drops on Sunday in practice, but today it sounded like he had a really good practice. There's just been a lot of, up and downness from the rookie. Again, he didn't play college football at all last year. So there could be a little bit, I don't know if it's rust or if it's pressure being the 5th overall pick, who knows? But I really like Tyler Boyd, guys. I was digging into Tyler Boyd stats last year in I think it was 10 games with Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd averaged 16 points per game in PPR leagues. And that would have been good for like a wide receiver 10 or 11. So essentially, I mean, the targets are all going to be about the same. They threw the ball a ton to AJ Green last year. Jamar Chase is still going to get all those targets. But Tyler Boyd, guys, like with as bad as an offensive line Cincinnati has, Burrow is going to continue to fire those quick slants and those quick passes to Tyler Boyd. So I really like Boyd's value. He's a wide receiver 3 for me. When I updated my projections, I think he came out to, where was he? Wide receiver 22, and I think I'm low on him. So I love Tyler Boyd. He's going to be a guy that I'm trying to get quite a bit. We got, let's see, we got James Robinson starting to get carries, 2 carries, 2 yards. Marvin Jones, now that you ask, Aiden, who do we think was going to lead the Jags backfield? I think it's J-Rob with the carries, and then maybe ETN's probably going to have a little bit more work in the receiving game. But yeah, he's a third down and kind of out of the slot. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to get both guys on the field at the same time. So it looks like maybe a 3 and out here for these guys. Let me go to the game cast. Short to Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones might be the receiver to draft here. He's got the cheapest ADP. And if you want Laviska Shenault, you got to grab him here at the end of the 6th, early 7th round. If you want DJ Chark, you have to get him. It looks like he's got an 84 overall ranking here. So that's, again, 7th round, sometimes the 8th round. And Marvin Jones is actually ranked right there too. But he typically goes a little bit later. So we're getting a lot of names here on the board. And I don't know, we're moving here, end of the 6th round. After I took Tyler Boyd, you see Cortland Sutton, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Logan Thomas. He's been a guy that's been very exciting lately. He's been making some plays in preseason. James Robinson, Juju, Chase Claypool. We're gonna get to Gallup in a sec if I can get him. But I don't know. That just completed the 6th round. So you see both Steelers receivers here, Juju and Claypool. I like both those guys as upside picks. The 6th round is kind of fun. You just kind of got to get your guy. I usually like taking the quarterbacks if I can get them. Dak, Lamar. Sometimes you see Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers go in the 6th round. But if you miss on some of those guys, you should know that in the 7th round you're going to be able to get. I mean, even Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of good quarterbacks there. So by the 7th round is when I typically look. I mean, we could have waited on Kyler Murray. We still could have got Rodgers, Wilson, Herbert. So don't sweat the QBs too much. There's going to be good ones still there for you in the 7th round. If you just want to kind of pencil quarterback into the 7th round, I think that's a good option for you. But at this point, again, we have a really well-balanced draft. We're just going to continue to take best player available. Let me take a peek at Aiden Tobin's team here. He's got, looks like 3 running backs, Ezekiel Elliott, DeAndre Swift, and James Robinson chilling on the bench. His wide receivers, though, Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin, and Brandon Ayuk. This looks like a fun, sleek team here from Aiden Tobin. A lot of receptions, and then he just puts Aaron Rodgers on top of it as his QB. Again, that 7th round. My takes on quarterbacks, man, is this: you wait for the 7th round, and you're just going to get rewarded with Rodgers, Wilson, or Herbert. That seems to be like the best value. I'm happy with Kyler in the 5th just because we have, the QB1 overall upside. But I mean, you could probably make a case for Rodgers, Wilson, or Herbert to all be up there as the 1, 2, or 3 as well. So it's a lot of value in waiting on the QBs. But we are almost up to pick here. I just want to kind of filter and look around here. For the running backs, you still got Damian Harris, running back 1 for the Patriots. Raheem Mostert just went off the board, round 7, pick 6. And then after this, like it gets a little dicey, and there's some value. You see all these guys here are ranked 93rd or below. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to look elsewhere. Maybe I think about running back at pick 88. Then we can get our backup, or I guess our number 3 running back. So let's go ahead and look. I just want to look at, we already have quarterback. We need wide receiver or tight end then at this point. I mean, Laviska Shenault, Michael Gallup, these are probably 2 of my favorite picks. I try to stay away from Houston. But if you had to take one Houston Texan, I guess Brandon Cooks would be the guy. What's the over/under on Houston Texans wins this year? Is it like 2.5? He just picked up Callaway, and that's fine. We drafted a team with Justin. We took Callaway at the end, but he was wide receiver 6 for you. I think we would have had a hard time getting him in the league. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But I'll pull this clip back up here. We'll see if it plays. Let me turn the volume off. I don't know. For some reason, the Twitter highlight's not working here. It was a beautiful deep shot. If you can watch it, you can watch it on your own. But we're up to pick here. We still need a tight end. Let me just take a peek at the tight ends real quick. I mean, Goddard, Tonyan. At this point in the draft, I don't mind getting a platoon here. I do like Robert Tonyan. Maybe we see if there's a tight end here at pick 88, because the one receiver that I want on my team, it's gonna be Michael Gallup. So I'm going with Gallup on my bench here. Maybe does ESPN have it on there? They do have the live tab here too. I'll go back and see if I can pull up the Marquez. But at this point, we do have 4 really good wide receivers, so it makes sense for us to look at tight end with our next pick, Marquez Callaway. So yeah, that clip sucks. Let me see if I can find another one. I don't know why none of these are working for me, but good deep ball. I think Marquez Callaway is going to be fun. I don't know how much we can trust him. Again, I think he's a second-year player. He's shown a lot. He's been kind of, like a slot receiver for the most part. He's going to play in the Michael Thomas role, but I do think that, again, showing the deep speed here and just to play through the contact and get that penalty drawn as well. Callaway can be nice. It might be a little bit unproductive, kind of unpredictable week to week. So to start Marquez Callaway every week, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, especially like with the team that I have now. You got Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup. Callaway would still be probably our 5th wide receiver on this team, so he's going to offer some nice bench upside. But I don't know how much I'm going to be excited to start him every week. But again, filling up your bench is probably one of the best things I think you can do on draft day. So we'll look for Callaway. We'll see if we can beat Aiden to him. I think I'm going to make Aiden take him. If you're going to take Callaway, you got to do it with your next 2 picks coming up. And then we got AB. What's going on here? Oh, we're talking Antonio Brown. Okay. Antonio Brownlinger's here. I do think Justin and I had been talking about Corey Davis. I think that's the one guy that really looks like a fun pick right now. I did say I kind of want to look at tight end, Goddard, Tonyan, but at this point, I could be done with receivers if I just take Corey Davis. So he's going to be the number 1 for the Jets. He's just been targeted a ton by Zach Wilson. So I'm getting a number 1 receiver here in the 8th round. So my receivers are pretty beastly. I got Allen Robinson, Deontay, Tyler Boyd, Gallup, and Corey Davis. We still have Aaron Jones and Antonio Gibson. We're just kind of spreading it all around the offenses here. The same clip is lagging for me. And then some of the things that I saw is in the Packer game the other day, whenever Corey Davis was on the field, Zach Wilson was pretty much targeting him. So the fact that you could potentially get a wide receiver 1 for a team, I know it's the Jets, but this isn't the Jets that we've been accustomed to in the past. So the ability to lock in a wide receiver 1 for a team in Corey Davis, and let's be fair, the Jets they're going to be better this year. They're probably going to win maybe 6-7 games, I would think, this year. They're going to be passing a lot though, and a rookie quarterback, he's going to lock on to his number 1 target. Corey Davis gets open at all levels of the field too. So locking in a Corey Davis, as much as I like Marquez Callaway, I think I'm going to take Corey Davis all day for sure. So he's our number 5, and we're looking pretty good at the receiver spot. So we'll see what happens at this point on. Typically, from the 8th, 9th round, I don't really like grabbing a lot of the receivers after this. Of course, Callaway, maybe a couple other guys in this spot. But now we can just kind of focus on building out our running backs and our tight ends. We have Kyler Murray, so we really have nothing to worry about. So for now, I think the rest of our focus is going to be a lot of running backs, and then yeah, getting Callaway is going to be nice. If you can get, again, he's got a 152 rating on him, which is technically the 13th round. So if you're looking to draft Callaway, if you're drafting this week or this weekend, Callaway in the 12th round should get it done. If you want to make sure you get him, probably 11th round in a 12-team league. So somewhere, the pick 120s, 130s is probably where you're going to have to get him, because he's probably going to get a lot of attention in the next couple days on social media and whatnot. But we're moving here into the 9th round. We just saw Aiden take, who did he grab? He grabbed Marvin Jones. So good wide receiver depth there for him. And then he's up to pick on the clock right now. Guys after Marvin Jones, we see the Jags receivers all go in a row. Laviska, Marvin, and then DJ Chark. After that, Kenyon Drake, Curtis Samuel, Antonio Brown, Tomas Brady. And then there's some tight ends. Dallas Goedert, Robert Tonyan, Jarvis Landry. I wouldn't mind looking at some tight ends at this point. We got Justin Collin for Tyler Higbee. I want to get a part of that Rams offense, and especially Darrell Henderson's got the thumb thing now. Like, I don't know if I'm going to trust this Rams running game. The thing that I do trust is Matt Stafford to deal the ball, and he's got Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and then Tyler Higbee. With the absence of Gerald Everett, you're probably going to see Tyler Higbee get upwards of 80 some targets. I think let me see where he ended up on my list here for tight ends. I think he's a top 15 tight end for me. He's my number 9 tight end. I have him at 57 catches, 670 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So roughly 10 points per game there. So that's looking pretty good. We got James Conner chilling there as well. So the board's falling pretty nicely to us. You got a ton of tight ends that we can snag. I'll go ahead and grab Tyler Higbee here. I also really like Irv Smith. If you needed a high upside guy, Irv Smith's coming into year 3. We know Kyle Rudolph's out of the picture, and just Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Those are like really the only 2 targets on the team. So I could see Irv Smith having a really nice season. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to my board. Let me just double check the running backs real quick. Jamal Williams, Ronald Jones, Trey Sermon. I'm gonna gamble here. We're gonna take a running back first before we get to the tight end here. I pick 112 or 112. But I'm gonna take Ronald Jones, he's going to probably lead the Tampa Bay backfield in carries, a team that's probably going to win 12, 13 games this season. If they're winning games, they're going to run the ball. So that's interesting. We'll check up on the Jags here. Trevor gets a dime to Chenault. J-Rob can't get any room. And then Urban pulled J-Rob ETN now. That's going to be how it goes, man. They're going to be rotating these guys. I still really like James Robinson. But we see 3 carries for 2 yards. We got ETN in the game right now, but Laviska 1 for 15. That's always good to see. The Jags they're gonna be a work in progress. I think I like both running backs though to at least be kind of flex worthy top 30 running backs this season. Got an incompletion to Philip Dorsett, but we're moving here to the beginning of the 10th round. After I take Ronald Jones, I just missed on James Conner. I would have loved James Conner here, but Ronald Jones is cool. Let me show you guys. In front of, let's see, I have Ronald Jones as my RB25. People are kind of sleeping on him, I think, a little bit. If we pull up the numbers from last year, and again, Tampa Bay is going to win games. I like getting running backs on teams that are going to win some football games. So that usually means they're going to run the ball and just kind of dominate and continue to run the ball in the 4th quarter. So in PPR leagues last year, Ronald Jones was RB19, and he only played in 14 games. He did score 8 touchdowns. If he played 16, he would have been a 1,000-yard back. So the value on him, and again, it was a 9th-round pick. Like, that's pretty good value for getting a potential top 20, top 25 running back. I'm willing to just put him on my bench and see what happens. 4 wins this year for the Jags. Did they go 3 and out? Lawrence is 2 for 4 for 20 yards. Let me see the game cast real quick. Incomplete deep ball to Chenault, so it looks like a punt on 4th down. But the Saints are a good squad. I don't know how many starters are playing for the Saints, but that's a tough test for any unit. We just need to see something good between. Okay, here's a good question. Lenny or I'm taking Ronald Jones because I think Lenny's probably the better pass catcher, but they just brought in Giovanni Bernard, so that's going to complicate some things a little bit. But I think at this point, Ronald Jones is the better 1st and 2nd down runner. He's going to have better yards per carry. He's got a little bit more breakaway speed. Leonard Fournette at this point he's kind of a grinder. He's going to get you 3.5 yards for the most part. But Ronald Jones is kind of the home run hitter. So we are up to pick here again. I really like Trey Sermon. The running backs are going to get thin pretty quickly. But we need a starting tight end, and we can still get Irv Smith, Tyler Higbee. I think I'm going to play we're going to go with Tyler Higbee here. But just because we're taking Tyler Higbee doesn't mean we're going to be done taking tight ends. I'm probably going to end up taking 2 or 3 of them total. But I wanted a piece of that LA Rams offense. And if you guys remember back in 2019, let me pull these numbers up. Tyler Higbee went on one of the best fantasy runs for a tight end that you could possibly do. So he did finish as tight end number 8 in 2019. Let me pull up his numbers from that run. Do a little zoom in here. So I think Gerald Everett went down week 12 or 13, and then that's 2020. Tyler Higbee went on a crazy run. He had 4 100-yard receiving games and 84 yards and a touchdown in that last game. So 23, 18, 23, 19, 22. I know it's with Jared Goff, but Tyler Higbee can play. So I like what just collecting a good player and a good offense. That should be, I mean, Stafford's always been, targeting the tight end. So I think that's going to be a fruitful piece for fantasy. But let's see. So Higbee or Tonyan week 1. If I remember correctly, the Rams play the Bears on Sunday Night Football, and the Packers play the Saints. I think just based on the Tonyan with the Rodgers connection, I'm going to lean towards starting Robert Tonyan right now. The Saints defense, if I remember correctly, too, they have allowed a decent amount of points to the tight end in the past. So I'm probably going to lean with Robert Tonyan for week 1, but we can evaluate that in a couple of weeks when we get there. I was looking at our waiver wire, and it says $100 next to it. Yes. So that have you ever played? I don't know how you guys do your waiver wire, but all my leagues are free agent auction bidding. That's FAAB. That's your FOB money, free agent auction bidding. So on Tuesday mornings, when the new week starts, everyone's looking to make pickups, right, or put in their waiver claims. Well, essentially, we get to bid on our players. So if the top player that you want is going to be a hot ad, you have to put money on him. Call it $20, $21. You have to blind bid on them, and then waivers is going to process the next night, and it'll give you whoever paid the most amount for that guy, you'll get them. It's kind of a fun system. So that's, to me, it's the most fair way to do waiver wire. I mean, otherwise, the bottom team's always getting the first pick. It kind of helps keep the team balanced, but at least having the money for bidding allows you. I mean, if your team is good, you should be able to continue to collect good players. So it's just a matter of how much you want to spend on these guys. So that's free agent auction bidding, FAAB. So that's what the $100 is for. And then, so now you see Marquez Callaway up here in the 11th round. So I'm going to have to take back what I said. 12th round might be too late. You're going to probably have to grab him maybe in the 10th or 11th round. We'll see. But I don't know. I'm interested to see if the Saints continue to press the situation here with Jameis Winston. He's 6 of 7. Callaway caught another one, 3 for 67 in a touchdown here. But it looks like he had one more catch on this last drive. But Winston, man, 7 of 8, 86 yards and a touchdown. So all that New Orleans slander we were talking about earlier, making me feel stupid. But anyways, we are on the clock here. We have a few more positions of need. We need some more running backs. James White, Gus Edwards, Malcolm Brown, Tony Pollard. We're kind of looking at all backup guys at the moment right here. So I don't know how much I love it. Is this a PPR league? I could potentially take James White here. Let me just look at the tight ends real quick. 10 seconds to do the job. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to reach for my guy. I want Anthony Firkser on my team. He's going to be a very sneaky tight end this year. I think he has the potential to catch maybe 4 or 5 catches per game. I've been talking about Firkser as much as I can lately just because when you get to this around, I guess this time in the draft, you just got to go ahead and get the guys that you feel really good about. And again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I really like certain offenses this year. So I'm investing in the Titans offense. If I don't get Henry or A.J. Brown or Julio or Tannehill, Firkser is the cheapest part of the offense. He's going to probably get between 50 and 60 catches this year. So he's going to be my tight end number 2. And because we waited so late on tight end, I'm okay with that being my worst position. Whether that's 8 to 10 points per game, that's really all I'm looking for. If I get a touchdown on my tight end that week, that probably means I'm doing really good things. So collecting Firkser and Tyler Higbee will form a duo there and see what happens. The interesting thing that I saw last year, though, with the Titans offense, with Jonnu Smith and Anthony Firkser, just the two of them combined, you see Smith and Firkser right here. The two of them combined had 118 targets. They caught a total of 9 touchdowns. You're talking a total of 835 yards and 80 total catches to the tight end last year. So if Firkser just gets, I mean, even like 60% of that, you're looking at a potential top 15 tight end. So that's why I like our guy there. And then we're probably just going to finish off our draft with maybe one more tight end, maybe a couple more running backs. We might even throw in a back here that I like. We'll see. Let me just check in on the Saints game here. So Winston throws another down to Callaway. Oh my goodness. 5 for 104 and 2 touchdowns. Oh man, I'm sorry, Justin. We should have just, but we got Justin Fields. It might be a fair trade at the end of the day anyways. but 5 for 104 and 2 TDs. Callaway round 1. Crazy. Jameis Winston 9 of 10 for 123 yards. So wow, I'll have to catch up on some of these highlights. But Marquez Callaway, the star of the show tonight. Let me just take a peek here. I'm up to pick. I'm just looking for running backs. James White's still on the board. I don't love it. I'm just going to collect him because I do think the Patriots offense can be very productive. If you're nervous about James White, like Rex Burkhead's gone. So like White is the clear passing down option there. We're just going to collect him and put him on the bench. We have 2 more flex spots to fill on our bench here too, so we can take whatever position of need that we want. If you want to take a defense this early, like Buccaneers, Steelers, Washington, those are probably my favorite defenses to grab early if you want to do so. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to just filter by flex. I might look at some of the backup quarterbacks, the rookie QBs, whether it is Fields or Justin Fields or Trey Lance. That's been one of my favorite things to do. Even if you draft one of the top 5 QBs, grabbing Fields or Lance as your QB2, at some point, these guys are going to start this year. And I mean, if anything happens to your top 5 QB, you have a potential rookie of the year quarterback in the waiting. So of course, Aiden goes and gets Trey Lance right before me, but I'll likely collect Justin Fields in a little bit then. But I don't know. I just think the power of having one of these rookie quarterbacks on your bench, it can be a winning strategy this season. So Callaway, man, he's having a night for himself. So he's arrived. It's cool. We've been pumping Callaway up for the last couple of weeks. I hope you guys, if you're drafted in your league already, you're able to get a piece of him. But we are almost up to pick here. There's really no receivers that I like at this point. If you're looking for quarterback or for wide receivers at this point, Sterling Shepard, Emmanuel Sanders, it's kind of a wasteland at this point. So that's why I recommend getting your wide receivers early this year. And then yeah, Justin Fields season. I'm gonna probably target Justin Fields with my 160 pick here in round 14. I get one more free pick though here. So let's see. Running backs. Do any running backs stick out? Xavier Jones. I could just add Xavier Jones here and see what happens with Darrell Henderson. He has been the most talked about, RB2. It doesn't excite me very much. Let me see here. Anybody else stick out? I'll take Xavier Jones with this pick. We'll see what happens. He's a guy that if I don't see it right away from him, I can move on from him for someone on the waiver wire. Yeah, Trey Lance is going to be the dude this year. And then I think Winston is the guy for the Saints. Winston's going to provide just kind of that stable, the stable traditional quarterback play for them. He's going to help Kamara. Taysom Hill. When Taysom Hill's in the game, that makes me nervous for Kamara with the goal line carries and whatnot. So Winston probably is the best quarterback for everybody to thrive. But Taysom Hill with that offense, sometimes that's a lot of fun to watch too. But anyways, we are up to picking a few spots here. I'm going to go ahead and take my backup quarterback. I'm going to get Justin. Someone took Justin Fields. Dang it. Someone took Justin Fields before I took my Xavier Jones here. So we get one free square. We get a free pick here. We're probably going to have to talk about Jameis Winston at some point just being named starter after this game. So we'll see here. It looks like Jacksonville's about to get the ball back. Let me go here. Man, Marquez Callaway. Let me see if this plays. Probably going to get hit with an ad, but here's the Marquez Callaway play. This is through ESPN. This was the first touchdown here. This was the second touchdown from Callaway. A corner, bottom corner touchdown here. Just a nice catch and extends both arms and falls right into the pylon. So Marquez Callaway having his breakout party night here on Monday Night Football. So what do I do with my last pick? At this point, you're kind of just trying to collect good players and don't get too greedy with it. We could take a tight end if we want here, whether you like Ebron or Troutman. I do like we didn't get any Seattle pieces, so Gerald Everett could be fun. Zach Ertz is still kind of kicking around here. So I'm just going to collect another tight end and see what happens. Hopefully one of our 3 guys hit. Let me see here. Justin has the scoop on Darrell Henderson for us. Mildly sprained his thumb and is expected to be ready for season opener, so nothing worried there. Oh man, Adam Troutman carted to the locker room with an ankle foot injury. We're gonna have to watch that. We feel great about picking up Callaway. That's good to hear. And then Shaq Griffin too. We'll see about J-Rob. The Saints are a tough task. It sounds like they're playing their ones tonight. the Jags do have a really nice, juicy schedule to start the season. So I'm optimistic they're going to get it going. There's just a lot of moving pieces for Jacksonville right now. So we'll see what happens about this team. But I think they can get it going at some point. And then you see Carlos Hyde getting carries before Travis Etienne, so that's interesting too. I might have to rethink my things on the Jags. I'll probably go back to the drawing board and see what I can cook up for rankings. But so far, that's pretty much it. We got defense and kicker left, so I'm just going to review what we got here on the board. Kyler Murray, Aaron Jones, Antonio Gibson. Receivers Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, and Tyler Boyd. We also have Michael Gallup and Corey Davis on the bench. We went with the 3 tight end group of Higbee, Ferkser, and Gerald Everett. And then we got some bench running backs, Ronald Jones, James White, and Xavier Jones. So this feels pretty good. The draft's pretty much over at this point. I'm just going to auto-pick a defense and a kicker. But yeah, man, that was a fun draft. We got the Marquez Callaway breakout here on the live stream. So 5 for 104 and 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston looking like he could be the starting quarterback for the Saints this year. But I don't know. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat room. We got Justin and Aiden hanging out with us tonight. We also had some new people that I hadn't seen before. So that was pretty cool for hanging out with us. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to get out of here, though. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you guys later. Peace.